But you know, the hardest thing is, because I have dated a sociopath. Oh, gosh, he was crazy. He was nuts. I just thought he was, loony. I didn't know until, we had, like, the first show, and we did it with Trenton, and I was listening to his videos, and I'm like, oh, my gosh. Like, I was dating a sociopath, and I didn't even know it. Because,
right.
you look back, and I'm thinking, well, he did this, and he did that. Like, when you were talking about draining financially, my gosh, and then sometimes I did stuff that I would never do for anybody. Like, I don't know how he got me to do it, but I did it. I have no idea. I mean, just draining me financially. He manipulated me several times, but you never see it. You never see it until really when it's finally over, and the hardest part is to let it go. I don't know how I did it, but I did it, but that was the hardest part. We broke up probably like 10 times before it was literally official, because the way they work, like they'll try to get you back in, or try to, like, one day they'll sweet talk you and they'll say some lovey-dovey stuff. They'll be even romantic, and then the next day, why is the towel on the floor? I don't understand this. And it gets all crazy, all over again. We probably got along one time out of the week. One time.
Oh, God.
And that was probably because I did something for him that he asked.
Mm-hmm.
So if I did something for him, then we had a good day. The next day, it was like all hell broke loose, and I did this wrong, and I did this, and why didn't you answer your phone, pick up your phone, answer your phone? Like, I've almost lost a job because of this person. Like, literally. He would come in yelling and screaming at my job. He was stalking me. I mean, he was, I don't know, maybe he was a different kind of sociopath. I don't know. But I don't know. And I kept dealing with it. Over and over again. And it took me probably like 6 months to finally just let it go. Finally, he just had that toll on me. He would say something, and then I would be right back into it again, over and over and over again. So my question to you, Samantha, is how did you finally leave this guy?
So, yeah, and good point you made, too, because sociopaths play off of the good nature of people, and in a way it kind of ruins us afterwards, because then we're kind of bitter afterwards and on guard a little bit too much, at least in my experience. I've had to learn to go back to the normal part of the spectrum. But yeah, they play on your good nature, thinking, okay, they'll change, and they suck you right back in, and oh, he's so sweet, or he or she, and it changes your mindset, and then it keeps repeating again, and you finally pull yourself out. So I think it's wonderful you did. I think there was finally just one of those boundaries that he crossed that I just had enough of. I think I just reached my boiling point. Ironically, our relationship was on the rocks for a while. We went to counseling. Something was wrong. I couldn't figure out what it was. He started forming like a chronic pornography addiction to the point where he would choose porn over sex, would compare me, make horrible comments, things like that. And like, I'm a very open sexual person, and so it's interesting too to make yourself feel like not adequate, stuff like that. And so that was becoming a huge issue. And I knew there was something wrong in the relationship, and I had suspicions that there might be cheating going on. And it's one of my big absolute no-nos in relationships. It's so important to have trust in relationships, And so somehow he convinced me that we would be okay and our relationship would work if I helped him move out, and he would just live on his own for a little while, and then we would get married, which is hilarious. Anyways, and so I don't know what it was. I was on the computer one evening at my house. He had been moved out at this point, and we were still together, which somehow makes no sense. And I remember, I don't know if it was like an act of God or what, but I remember the email account was still logged in somehow. on some secret email I'd never seen before, and it loaded this entire conversation between him and this other woman. And it had been going on for 6 to 8 months. Meanwhile, you know, he convinced me to buy him.
Days, months, wow.
Right, months. And so that's a huge point with the sociopaths is that, you know, like you said, long-term goals, they're willing to wait. And if you serve a purpose, in which I served, you know, shelter, he got to stay at the house, I helped him out financially. If you serve a purpose for them, they'll keep you around. And so they don't care about cheating. They just want to go off and get their fix. And a lot of sociopaths are drawn to adrenaline type junkie things to get their thrill. Whereas narcissists more so just want to be the center of attention, you know, they don't have to be drawn to those things. And so finally I found evidence of that, and that's when I cut it off completely. He wanted to move back in and made all these efforts to get back together and all this other stuff too. But once I had found out his true self and his motive, and I told people about that, he did what most sociopaths will do. They will cut bait and run, and they will try to find someone next, their next big victim. And it's pretty amazing. You would think that there would be some, like, holding on to each other and oh, you know, like, you know, let me back in. Once they know their cover's blown and that you're not going to fall for it anymore, they will disappear as fast as, like, a magician. And
so true.
Because, right, exactly, because they know that you're kind of like a lost cause and they got to start working on a new person or a project, you know?
They definitely discard you like you never even existed. Like, if you have an emotional, that's an important thing for listeners to understand that might be going through this. Like, they just have an ability. They will, like, if you have an emotional attachment to them, like y'all might have, of course, if you're dating one of these type of cluster B people, you know, sociopath or whatever, like, you're going to have a rocky relationship. There's just no way around it. Even though the relationship is rocky, a normal person, especially if a lot of time and effort has been put into the relationship, is still going to have an emotional attachment. This person you're dating does not have an emotional attachment. They don't really have that ability to feel the way you feel, but they know how to emulate it. They know how to play like they do because they know that's the norm, and they need to come off as normal to suck you in. So once you get to the point where things are very, very rocky, you know, but if you really love this person, even though things are rocky, you aren't just going to throw your hands up. You're going to try to work it out. You might try counseling. You might try to talk to, you know, other friends and get family involved. Have sit down, you know, get opinions. Like, look, we can work this out. And like you said, Samantha, like, their cover's blown, and you like, they see that, like, you kind of starting to get it, and it's like, man, I think you need some help. Like, there's something wrong with you. And they really, they will drop you so fast, so easily, you won't even know what hit you. Like, the same, they can drop you so fast, and they won't feel bad. So if you're wondering, okay, I just came back, and they were just gone. They just promised me it was going to work it out, and you won't have a lot of broken promises. That's a guarantee when you're dealing with these type of people. You're going to have tons of broken promises. And, you know, what a typical situation would be like, oh, we're going to work it out. Yeah, you know, we're going to definitely work it out. I still love you, da-da-da. Did you come back home? Like, all right, we're going to work it out. You come back home, the stuff gone, they left. And you call them, it's like going to voicemail. Now their number changed. You know, you can't find them. You Facebook them, they blocked you. And you're like, well, I'm the one that was abused and manipulated and cheated on and all this. Why am I the one chasing this person? But they, it's crazy. They have that ability. You'll be like that. You'll be, you know, depending on what type of person you are, but a normal person, if you really, really care and you have emotions and a conscience, you're going to want to save your relationship before you give up. Once they're done with you, they will toss you to the wolves like it's nothing. They won't think twice about it. The effort that they make, they only do that effort to try to glue things back together as long as they're getting what they want out of you.